Hello everyone, my name is Lance Richardson Prager and I'm just giving a presentation on radon in the Millbrook Radon Testing Project. I work for Health Canada as a senior environmental health specialist, and we've partnered with your community to test 200 homes for radon this winter. Before we start, I just want to begin by acknowledging that we are in Mi'kma'ki, the ancestral and unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. So just for a quick outline of the presentation, we're going to learn about what is radon, what impact does radon have on our health, where does radon come from, how do we test for radon, and how do we reduce radon in our home. So what is radon? Radon is a radioactive gas that's produced naturally by the breakdown of uranium in the ground. So radon's colorless, odorless, and tasteless, and it exists in all buildings, just at various concentrations. So why do we care about radon and what are the health implications of it? Because radon is a radioactive gas, your main route of exposure is actually through breathing. And as radon decays, it can actually damage lung cell tissue, and over many years to decades of high exposure, it can increase a person's risk of developing lung cancer. So we know radon is a group 1 carcinogen, and in Canada, it's the #1 cause in lung cancer for non-smokers. We estimate radon will take the lives of more than 3,000 Canadians each year, sadly. So what are the radon levels in Canada? What's a high level? What's a low level? So radon is found in every building in Canada. There's no radon-free province, community, or building. 2 houses built next to each other could have different radon levels. But we've done a lot of testing across Canada, and this map just shows some of the various regions that may have higher or lower levels of radon. So in Nova Scotia, where we're located, it's an estimate about 10.7% of homes come back above the radon guideline of 200 becquerels per cubic meter, which I'll get into what that means later. And it's estimated in the Truro area, where Millbrook is located, about 12.6% of homes would come back above the radon guideline if we were to test. So how does radon get into our homes and our buildings? So radon comes through any cracks and openings in the foundation. Air pressure, depending on the temperature and the time of year, outside and inside in your home, air can be pushed in from the basement area into the lower part of the home and increase the radon concentration in the home. Basically, that difference in air pressure acts like a vacuum and it can draw basically radon soil gas into the home. So when we're talking about radon levels, and as I mentioned, radon is measured in that unit becquerels per cubic meter. If you're measuring for radon and you were looking at it in a real-time level, you would know that radon fluctuates basically with weather patterns, time of year, and other factors in terms of how you're using your home. So we recommend at least testing for 90 to 100 days when you're doing a radon test, and that's what we're going to do in this project, because radon definitely varies, and the risk is about a long-term exposure, not just your immediate day level or that immediate level within 1 hour of setting up a monitor. So how do you test? You can do a do-it-yourself test kit, which is called an Alpha Track Radon detector, which can be purchased at most hardware stores, through Amazon, Lung Association charities, and many other retailers. Or you can also hire a certified radon measurement specialist that can use digital or Alpha Track detectors to measure radon in your home. In this case, we're actually going to be doing the radon measurement through the housing program with Millbrook, and they're going to be setting out the Alpha Track detectors in 200 homes in the community this fall. So how do we know where to put this kit? So the radon kit should be placed in the home, in an area of the home where people spend at least 4 hours a day or more. And it's usually located in bedrooms or rec rooms in homes that are finished spaces, and the detector should be placed around the breathing height of the occupant. So that's somewhere near the standing breathing height, 4 to 6 feet off the ground, whether it be on a shelf or suspended from the ceiling. And that's where the kits should be located when we set them out. So no bathrooms, kitchens, unfinished spaces. So what was that guideline I mentioned? So the radon guideline in Canada is 200 becquerels per cubic meter. on average over that 90-day or more period, which we would test. If it exists, if the radon level comes back higher than that, then the recommendation is to mitigate the home to lower the risk of long-term radon exposure for the occupant. So how do we lower radon in our home? Well, there's various ways, increasing ventilation, sealing up the foundation, but the gold standard and the most common way to reduce radon is actually doing something called active soil subslab depressurization. It's more or less putting a fan in normally the utility area of the home or some other location in the basement or ground floor where you actually exhaust air from underneath the slab outside the home, reversing basically the draw of radon into the basement, and this can lower radon by more than 90%, and it's very effective. These systems, as you can see in this photo, is just two examples, one running through a roof or more commonly running out the side of the home just above the snow level. And this pipe and fan run continuously once installed, and basically they are great at lowering radon, and there's certified mitigators in the province that can do this work. The general installation cost is somewhere between $1,800 and $4,000 depending on the complexity of the system. So why are we doing this project? Well, in the spring of 2024, Karen Boyles, the ISKI HPO, got an inquiry from the Millbrook community doctor, Bo Blow, about radon in the early spring. He noted a concern potentially or an interest in testing for radon in the community and how other communities have tested for it in Atlantic Canada. Karen and her manager Len contacted me at Health Canada and asked about doing a Millbrook radon testing project, which we agreed to. We met with the Millbrook Health Center Director Carla Moore, Housing Director Lauren Paul, and Housing Project Officer Chantel Langille, and worked out a plan to potentially test the community, and then met with the council, who then we presented to, and they voted to undertake the testing project. So the testing project would include 200 homes tested this fall, and then another 235 homes within the Millbrook First Nation to be tested the following fall or November 2025. So this is just a map of the community, and we're still looking for 40 volunteers within the community to sign up to get a free radon test kit. You don't have to do anything except just set up a date for which we'll come in and set the kit out. It only takes a few minutes. It'll be left in the home for 90 to 100 days or over 3 months, and then it'll be collected by the housing staff under Lauren to get sent off to a lab, and then the result report will be sent back to the community. So if you're interested in signing up and you're watching this presentation, we just need your name, housing, and contact information, and the best time in the next 2 weeks to show up to set up a radon kit. It only takes a few minutes, so it won't take much of your time. Please contact Chantel, and her email there is below, or you can call her at 902-324-9513. Also, if you're in the kind of pre-selected zone of the community that is basically going to be tested this fall and you haven't signed up, we're going to be dropping a flyer off at the 200 homes that we're planning on testing, just to let them know that we're going to be testing for radon in the community. And if they have any questions or want to sign up for a time, they can contact Chantel, and we're planning to start testing in the coming weeks. Thank you everyone for listening to my presentation, and I enjoy meeting you if I'm around for the first day of the testing, and I hope everything goes great. Thank you everybody.